2020. Article number 7. Lesson 2. Beginning of everything, before the Big Bang. 4.1. The Creation Report, Creation Narrative. In order to be able to reproduce Ustad Elahi's creation report narrative clearly, plainly, and understandably, I have attempted to explain the topics as simply as possible and without the use of technical terms and theoretical sentences. In the next chapters we will analyze the whole of this subject with the help of particle physics and mathematics. Before we begin examining Ustad Elahi's creation report, I have to mention that this report is not based on the observations of others, but on his own direct perception. I have not imitated anyone. Everything, what I said, was the result of my own perceptions, discoveries, and experiences. Ustad Elahi, Asar al-Ha 1, Word 2073, Paragraph 3. In this context, care must be taken to ensure that I will not reproduce Ustad Elahi's creation report in its complete form. Only the paragraphs will be presented which are used to analyze the mechanism of the emergence of existence. 4.2. The Earthly Souls. Ustad Elahi's creation report provides us with a precise representation of the original plan and basic design that the Creator had prepared for the creation of existence. This primary idea was nothing more than the total amount of numerous basic laws and basic but perfect and complete knowledge in the form of specific energy or the magnetic fields. One of these principles was the cause and effect law. So first a being had to be created whose mental capacity was so enormous that it could save the above-mentioned original plan and basic primary complete knowledge. Ustad Elahi called this being Mahiyat. It was also called first intellect by Ustad Elahi as well as by previous philosophers and mystics. Mahiyat can be seen as the soul of God in the material world. We take this fact from the last sentence of the 12th paragraph of the Ustad Elahi creation report according to my own paragraphing. God said to Mahiyat, "You reflect me, my power and my thoughts." The fact that the Mahiyat was created directly by God can be seen in part of the 3rd paragraph of the report. God speaks to Mahiyat. You are the one from which the whole existence of all possibilities will arise, and I am the one who created you. Your strength and power and everything you have is from me. According to a very important original law, which is known to us humans and even scientifically proven, is this fact, that a process can only be started if there are two interacting but opposing forces that are involved in the process. According to this law and for this purpose a power had to be created, which was different in every respect from the Mahiyat. This power is what is popularly called darkness, that is the dark energy. We take this from the rest of the 3rd paragraph and the 4th paragraph of the report. Mahiyat asked, "If you speak to me, why don't I see you?" As long as you don't see yourself, you cannot see me, and as long as you cannot recognize yourself, you cannot recognize me, replied the Creator. How can I see myself? He asked. Boil internally. You have to make this possible with inner boiling, said the Creator to him. From the 4th paragraph. This kind of explosive boiling is not known to our science today. This is self-knowledge meant for Mahiyat as an examination and exploration of its potential powers and possibilities and to get acquainted with them. Internal boiling, which was a specific maturation process, had to be an expansion, something like the Big Bang. This is an initial change that supposedly lasted billions of years according to earthly time. The result of such a boiling is very important because both our ecosystem and the behavior of all living things depend on it. After internally boiling, when he regained consciousness, only darkness. In this darkness that was called dark world, he saw a piece of light that split the darkness like a sunbeam. From the fourth paragraph. Another original law can be derived from the above-mentioned paragraph, namely, dualism in its original form. Light and darkness represent the world of light and darkness. The two worlds are completely equivalent in every respect, but they are opposed to each other. The light beam reflected from Mahiyat was the only thing that could be seen in the dark. The spiritual space in which the Mahiyat moved consisted of light. Light cannot be detected in the light, but in the dark. For this reason, light and darkness must face each other everywhere and in every respect. From the fifth paragraph. As can be seen from the sixth paragraph, this darkness can be temporary and regarded as the master body of Mahiyat. "Oh God, why don't I see you?" he asked the Mahiyat. "Like the appearance of darkness that made your image visible, you have to be connected to the body to see my image in you, because the darkness corresponds to the body. For this reason, your image is visible in it." "Light and darkness," answered the voice. "How can I be connected to the body? Isn't the light my body?" asked the Mahiyat. "This light belongs to your clergy. The body is the manifestation power that shapes your body, and from which the others which will soon be created must be permeated. You have to boil, again, internally, and pulsate in order to separate all substances that do not belong to you and to return to their origin, since everything that stands outside of you is my will. Because I have determined you. Now start boiling and swinging," said the Creator. According to creation, Mahiyat received the original plan and basic knowledge, developed the cosmic dimensions from which all possible living beings and substances would arise, and of course received the strength and power to do so. In order to be able to realize the original plan, the darkness with its very own laws was created in accordance with the law of dualism, which is fundamentally contrary to the laws of the world of light. To understand exactly how important the realm of darkness is, you have to know that it is as important to the Earth's ecosystem as the world of light. Without the substances of darkness, matter would never be broken down, and the result would be a disturbance in the ecological balance. For example, the human body would then not be able to digest the food. In biological conditions, the world of darkness means disintegration and disassembly, and when we talk about the world of light, it means structuring and building up. Now, at this point in time, all the prerequisites necessary for the emergence of existence are available. Mahiyat, as master of the world of light, had a master plan, knowledge, the necessary strength and powers that are far from our earthly conception. Of course, he also had an opponent in front of him who was as powerful as himself. Following the Creator's command, the Mahiyat had to experience new inner activities, stimuluses, and changes that probably took billions of earthly years, according to earthly time. At the command of God, the Mahiyat boiled within itself, internally. Suddenly he heard tremendous noise, and his vision was blinded by something like smoke and steam, dust and particles. After a while, supposedly after billions of earthly years, his view became clear again. He saw that there was no trace of the darkness in the beam of light that had initially appeared to him. He saw 11 other creatures next to him in a blue-colored room that was his headquarters. And he also saw 3 other rooms, and in each there was a higher assembly. From the 7th paragraph. For those who have studied all of Ustad Elahi's works more closely, the word boiling means preparing for the realization of the original plan, first in the form of a template. What can still be read from his teachings is the fact that the Mahiyat, according to the law of cause and effect, and in order to continue the original plan, According to the above-mentioned internal activities and stimuluses of 11 living things, one from the other, in a certain order. Of course, the first was created directly by Mahiyat. These 11 living beings, like Mahiyat, were endowed with strength and knowledge. They needed the strength to cooperate with Mahiyat in the process of realizing the existence. However, their knowledge and powers were limited and differed from each other. The closer these powers were to Mahiyat, the more powerful and wiser they were. I have to expressly point out again that the powers and wisdom of the Mahiyat and his companions or partners are barely comprehensible with our limited earthly understanding. We can only understand this topic with the help of the knowledge of particle physics. The latter preparation, meaning the inner boiling and the resulting explosion, corresponds to the Big Bang phase. The information provided in this part is very significant and so crucial that much of this book is concerned with scientifically analyzing and examining the information contained in this paragraph. We actually want to know what happened during this boiling. For example, where did the 11 other creatures come from? What scientific role do light and darkness play in creation? With which method did the material world's living beings and their souls come into being? What really is a human and what dimensions and substances does he consist of? For what purpose was existence and its components created? What is death and what actually happens to us after death? Paragraphs 8 and 9 deal with the quality and quantity of the three premises and their components. The role of the three premises or spaces can be seen in the 10th paragraph. The souls of all creatures were in these three premises or spaces. In the blue-colored room there were no other than the Mahiyat and its companions' particles. Beyond the premises in which the seat of all souls was located, the Mahiyat saw countless planets. Every planet was different from the other planets in specific color and shape as well as in volume, brightness and darkness, cold and heat. The 11th paragraph states that after the second boiling, as a result of the internal boiling of the Mahiyat, two completely isolated dimensions, namely the material and immaterial, quantum or soul dimension, worlds would arise. The material world, as well as all associated elements and substances, were like figures without soul, and thus without movement. Then he saw corresponding creatures on each planet, each in pairs. It means female and male in different shapes were in the same situation and condition as we see them today. However, these were only the soulless hulls and bodies. Their souls were stationed in the mentioned three spaces because they had not been ordered by God to join the bodies. From the 11th paragraph. In the original Persian text, I divided the creation report presented by Ustad Elahi into 15 paragraphs and interpreted it thoroughly. At this point, we do not currently need the rest of the report. Research and study. Farah Mars Tabish. Main source. The book Biology of the Quantum Dimension, by Farah Mars Tabish. Next subject. 4.2. The Eternal and Original Laws.